What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Recently, I've had a lot of people ask me if I've ever updated my settings since the last time I went over them. And the answer is yes. In this video, I'll be going over my new updated sensitivity settings. So now that you have an idea what this video is about, let's get into it. First off, I play on controller binding preset Type B. When this game first came out and they only had the option for Type A preset, this game was very hard for me. But once they added Type B, aiming on PUBG got so much easier for me, and I don't think I'm ever going to go back to Type A. Up next is my stick dead zone. I usually keep both stick dead zones at 6. I've tried messing around with my dead zones and changing them up, but when I change them, I usually have bad aim and bad recoil control. So really, I never try to touch this setting and just leave it at 6. Now onto controller vibration, I usually have this on and keep it at 2. When I play most games on Xbox, I usually hate it when my controller vibrates, but having it on PUBG, it usually helps me react a little bit quicker when I'm getting shot at. Now let's get into the controller sensitivity. I like keeping my movement sensitivity at 60. Keeping this at 60, I can look around and run while still having a lot of control over my sticks. For the vertical sensitivity multiplier, I keep this at 100, so it's the same as the horizontal sensitivity. Now looking at general sensitivity, I keep this at 7. Keeping this at 7, I feel I can look around pretty quickly while also remaining in control and pinpointing my targets much easier. For my vehicle driver sensitivity, I keep this at 7 as well. For my aim acceleration, I keep this on and at 4. I think aim acceleration is very useful in this game, but when you put it too high, it gets very hard to control, so 4 is my perfect setting. Now onto my over-the-shoulder aiming sensitivity, I keep this at 6. When I use over-the-shoulder aiming, it's usually with closer targets. With this setting at 6, I can control my aim much easier than if it was at a higher setting. Now before we get into the aiming down sight sensitivity, I want to give you guys a reminder to leave a like if you found this video helpful so far and subscribe if you haven't already. For my 1x optic sights, such as the red dot, holographic, or even the iron sights, I keep this setting at 7. For my 2x scope and 3x scope, I keep these at 6. Keeping this at 6 allows me to control these sights a little more easier since I use these for longer range gunfights. Now for the 4x and the 6x scope, I keep both of these sights at 4. The same premise used for the 2x and the 3x scope is used for the 4x and the 6x. Since you can use these scopes at longer ranges, you should lower their sensitivity so you can be more accurate with your shots. For my 8x scope, I like to keep this at 3, and for my 15x scope, I keep this at 10. I rarely ever use the 15x scope, but when I do, it feels really slow. So keeping this at the highest sensitivity will make it just a little bit faster. I think this is a bug, and I don't know if they fixed it yet, but usually I try to stay away from that type of scope. Now finally, to end this video, a lot of people ask me what type of controller I use, or even ask me if I use a mouse and keyboard. And the answer to those questions is that I use a regular Xbox controller. Along with the controller, I also use control freaks. Control freaks raise your stick height in order to allow you to have more control with your aim. I feel the stick raisers I use grant me a little bit of an advantage when going into gunfights against people that don't have them. Having that little bit of extra control over your recoil in a gunfight can mean the difference between life and death. I'll be leaving a link to the control freaks I use in the description, so if you want to check them out, feel free to do so. If you do buy the control freaks, I will say they take a while to get used to, but once you got the feel for things, you should be able to improve your overall aim and gameplay. Well guys, that's going to be it for me. Don't forget to drop a like, and I hope you found this video helpful. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.